Position for just a second. So just lay on tilt towards me. Lay on tilt. Just go over your shoulder now. Okay, look at me. There you go. All right. So let's talk about something. Right? I'm gonna go from right here. My arm got straight, and I got to my what? My push-up. He's gonna be fighting to get to his belly. Go to your belly. Right? If I keep my arm straight, even with him punching his hand down, he doesn't go. Elbow bends a little bit, pull. Right? You know, like my arm becomes really weak, and I have to go that way because my elbow's gonna bend. I like to think of this, right? When I go to hit the ground, you ever watch those old, like a karate video where they teach and they like do this like crazy, like rotate? Ever seen that before? Anyone seen when someone punches and they've done like a crazy rotation? Right? Maybe like there's like Tae Bo. You remember Tae Bo? Back in the day, used to use like aerobic videos where people would punch, but they would rotate their hand. One thing that helped is that when I punch this to the mat, I actually do that. I rotate. Because if his elbow crease is pushing into my elbow crease, and I'm not a big, strong guy like Coach, then my arm will bend because he's pushing into that crease. But if I do this, if I rotate my hand as I straighten, what is he now pushing against? He's going to go against here where my arm doesn't bend. But if I leave my hand this way, he's fighting against the weakest part of my joint where it would bend. So that's one thing I showed a guy over there, and I thought it was kind of cool. So when I punch that half, my knuckles rotate. So now when he fights into me, is he fighting the weak part or the strong part? Okay. Now is it strong just because it's straight? What if it was straight and in the air? Am I going to be strong? No, he might break my elbow. It's the fact that my arm is anchored where?
On the mat.
Mat. And it anchors there because I'm putting, stay there. Thanks. It's anchored there because I've got all my weight, right? I got to get all my weight in there. Now, he's fighting down. So I came from this side, I walked in front, it's anchored to the mat. Stay right there, Todd. This is a long anchor, shoulder to fist. It's rotated. The other reason it's rotated is for this second piece. Once I get in front of his chest, as I climb over from push-up, I'm gonna take my knee to his chest. Okay? All that is now a wall that his chest is gonna hit. It doesn't hold him there for long, but it gives me a transition time to go from a long anchor to a short anchor. I'm gonna pin my elbow to my anchor is gonna go from my fist to my elbow. So watch, I'm in push-up, my fist is rotated, my knee goes to the chest, my elbow becomes my new anchor where my fist is. Does that make sense? Punch and rotate. He's fighting to his belly. He's trying to get to his belly. My knee goes to the chest. My elbow becomes my anchor where my fist is. And now his head is wrapped. I have his chin. I drop my chin to his armpit. Guys, I want to get low as I can. If I'm up here, my pin's not going to be effective against a good wrestler. I want to literally, stay there, Todd. Again, mold that shape right here. You see this shape? It's a curve. Look right here, up, and there's a curve. Another puzzle piece. God made us to be wrestlers, and when you do technique right, everything fits perfectly into position. Okay? So that when this elbow hits, everything fits perfectly right here. There is not a gap. The puzzle pieces all fit exactly where they go. I make this part of my neck and chest the puzzle piece that fits here. There's no space at all between my chest, my neck, my chin, his shoulder, my shoulder, and this elbow crease right here. Okay, now I start driving forward, and I'm gonna tell you if you want to pin people, chin up, chest as big as you can. Anybody in here lift weights? Yeah, good. Anyone ever do a row machine? You sit and you do rows. What exercise does it, what muscle does that make stronger? Your back. How many of you have ever seen how much you can row? Like you guys that work out. Can you row a lot?
Yeah.
All right. How much do you weigh versus how much you row? Can you row more than you weigh? So if I put all of my body weight on him and I push my body weight into him, what I weigh is what I weigh. But I want you to think of something. When his head is right here and I've got his body right here, if I turn my hands like this and I did this on a row machine, I'm using my back muscles, and how much weight can I pull into me? I can pull a lot, right? I want to pull him against right here. And now, so all of a sudden, if I weigh 170 pounds, but I can row 300 pounds, my body weight of 170 pounds is pushing into him, and my row of 300 pounds is pulling his chest into mine. And all of a sudden, I feel like I weigh 470 pounds. And he goes, please pin me. Okay? I want you to see the difference. If my head is down and I'm doing rows, I'm not very strong. I make my shoulders as wide as I can. I try to make my chest, this is what I want you to think of. A small little spike right here. And that spike is the pin. Right? You ever see a pin, like a sewing pin or a needle? Right? It's right here. And for me to pin him, this pin has to pin him to the mat. If I go this way with my shoulders or this way with my head, that pin goes this way. It doesn't go into him. I need to stick that pin out so that needle is as far forward as I can get it. Right? We got to learn how to pin. You got to learn how to use our pin. Right? And it's small, so you got to really stick it out and be proud of it. Okay, right here, stick it out, and then you're going to grow your strength into it. So watch. Here, what is straight and where's my knuckle? Rotated punch. Long anchor. Front push up, knee to chest, elbow to mat. Find your puzzle piece. My elbow is rowing his low back. This elbow is rowing his head. And now as I start to drive forward on my toes, oh yeah, because now we're using leg press. So now I'm going to leg press into him with my chest, and then I'm going to hit my row. Boom. And I try to make it where he goes, please let this be over. Right?
Can you
Is that tight?
Pointing towards that way a little bit so they see that? I mean, just turn them that way. I'll show you through
Yeah. Right here?
So what I want them to be able to see is this part. I want this part facing them.
Okay.
So when he's punching this through and he gets his straight arm, right?
Yep.
So watch this. There's two things this does. He
Right
punches-
here?
He's right there, good. They come back up. Now he's here. Look at this. There's two things. He's at this point, he's got his straight arm, he's rotated. This is the part everybody's gonna screw up. He's gonna drop to his elbow. That's gonna do two things. It's gonna put his shoulder under his armpit. And that's what lets him get this arm strong. And then he's also, that arm's curling under his head. Come back.
Yep.
He's not, what a lot of you guys are gonna do is come down to the elbow and put that hand out here somewhere. And now you're gonna try to pin him, you can't do it. That hand, when you go to elbow, it has to go under his head.
It's already
Simple
rotated.
stuff, guys.
Shoulder drops. My palm should catch his mandible. Whoop. Right? Puzzle pieces are all in place. Start leg pressing, pushing my chest into his, and then row everything tight. Is that tight, Todd? Tight.
G Mills type.
And then he can't breathe. and it's over. On two, stop.